Spinal Tap. On Compton Island, revenge was served with the icy steel of a machete blade. Unforgiving, swift, and merciful. It had been a little more than 6 months since the attack on the clan, and although his body had healed, Baku was plagued with by the images of his clansmen being ripped to shreds by bombs and bullets. For years, the Blacc Hood remained in the shadows, but now he was the last. In the sewers beneath the area of the island that was known as New Rancho Dominguez, Baku had tracked the rat bastard down. The rat bastard, Bunny. "Please, let me go," Bunny squirmed, hanging upside down, tied to a pipe that dripped shitty toilet water onto him. "Where is he?" Baku demanded. There was only outsiders that knew of Blacc Hood's location. "I don't know," said Bunny. Patience was something not afforded to the survivor of genocide. Baku brandished his machete. Bunny's eyes widened at the sight of it. "Well," Baku said. His heart was full of rage and sorrow, his mind flooded with the thoughts of his fallen people. "If you don't want to tell me, perhaps you'll tell my blade." Bunny's information had led him to an area on the west side of Compton Island called Grandee. A long stretch of road full of project apartments that were poorly managed. On the poorer side of the island, most of the edifices were damn near falling apart or condemned. Under the cover of night sky, hidden between the shadows of palm trees, Baku made his way to La Palma Apartments. It was an ugly, cement-colored building that was taller than many of the other apartments nearby. There was a young man at the door, his oversized shirt and baggy pants worn to conceal either a weapon or contraband. The fool wasn't prepared for the machete that came rushing at his chest, so when it impaled him, his eyes revealed confusion, anger, and regret. Baku felt no remorse. He felt no sympathy. Images of men in black fatigues killing his people is all that occupied his mind. Fueling his rage for years, the Blacc Hood kept the peace between the other clans and faction. A clan of elite warriors that used the shadows of the island to do their bidding. Someone on the outside had wanted them gone. Baku was the only survivor. He wiped the blood from his machete, using the door guard's shirt, and made his way into the building. At the end of a dingy hallway was an antique elevator that was probably older than him. He entered the old girl, and she bounced slightly under his weight. It shook, it struggled to carry him to the top floor, seconds, feeling like hours as the dial crawled over each floor number. He waited, unbothered. The screech of the elevator bell welcomed him to the 9th floor. The doors creaked and moaned, but they opened, introducing him to a hallway with brown paint that reminded him of shit. The smell of rotten eggs and tobacco rushed into his nostrils. There was a thug down the other end of the hallway, guarding the last door on the left side of the corridor. Before the thug could look his way, the machete had already left Baku's hand. It slid through the air as if being pulled by kite string. The blade sliced right through his head, and he dropped to the ground. At the sound of his body thudding against the floor, the door opened. A cloud of smoke erupted into the hallway, filling the air with poisonous aromas of marijuana, tobacco, and crack. "What the hell?" a voice said. A man, wearing similar attire to his dead comrade, came out of the room. He took a knee to check his friend. From the corner of his eyes, he saw Baku bolting down the hall. He pulled out a pistol and fired at Baku, but his shaky, untrained hands could not land a single shot. Bullets whizzed past Baku as he dodged and ducked to evade them. Within seconds, Baku was upon him, and using all his momentum, slammed the hooligan against the inner frame of the door. He yanked his machete from the goon's body, being sure to wipe the blood off before entering the apartment. A haze of marijuana smoke and cocaine dust filled the air. In the Barbie-colored living room stood 6 brown-skinned women. They were naked, except for ninja dust-like masks that covered their faces. They stood next to tables filled with tightly foiled wrapped pounds of cocaine, baggies, and triple beam scales, gawking at him with a gleam in their eyes. Fear. "Leave," said Baku. The women left the room in a flurry, like roaches that scatter when the lights come on. On the other side of the room was a brown door that contrasted with the pink walls of the apartment. Loud music muffled the voices on the other side. Baku kicked the door down with the force of a battering ram. Whomever stood behind it was crushed underneath. To the left of him, another goon swung at him, but Baku grabbed his arm and forced it to bend upward in the shape of a V. His bones snapped like twigs, followed by a punch to the heart. The thug was out. Baku threw his blade at the hoodlum sitting on a worn black couch on the far side of the room. The blade flew into the cushion, missing his head by an inch. "Well, I don't believe my eyes," he said. "A living Blacc Hood. Wow." When the man stood up, he was easily towered over Baku. His lanky frame was draped with a plain white shirt and blue khakis, bone-like shards and spikes protruding from his arms and shoulders. It was the man Bunny had led him to, the one they called Spinal. "I am going to kill you for your betrayal," Baku said. "My betrayal?" Spinal said. "I don't remember having any loyalties to you Blacc Hoods. Tell me, how was it I betrayed you?" "You were the only outsider that knew where we operated from. You gave the MADR location," said Baku. "Are you implying I violated the treaty?" "They had to get their information from someone. Besides, you nutties are the only ones who've benefited the most since my people were slaughtered." "Of course we benefited. With your clan gone, there was a power struggle between all gangs and clans. And I came out on top." "So you admit it?" "I admit nothing, Blacc Hood." "Still, Compton Island would be better off without you." "What?" Baku hit him with a flying knee, and Spinal crashed out the window behind him. Baku looked out to find Spinal's bone tentacles protruding from his back, holding him to the building. Spinal had scaled down the building within seconds. "See you later, Blacc Hood."